Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my OCD story. I had been planning to make this video for a very long time now, but I didn't have the courage to do so. Finally today I've gathered some courage and I'm trying to film this video for you. I hope people out there can relate to what I am saying right now and feel a little better about themselves. They don't feel lonely. I have been diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder and it has been a roller coaster ride for me. Obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as OCD, is quite a severe and crippling disorder. It's not about cleanliness, not only about cleanliness, it's not only about being particular and having things in an order, etc. It's something that really bothers a person and gives them a lot of anxiety and makes them dysfunctional to a level. I have had OCD for a couple of years now and I am recovering through medication and through my therapy, and I would like to share my story with you. So from what I remember last is when I would come back home from work, I would keep my bag at a particular place. That particular place was meant to be the right spot. If I didn't keep my bag there, I felt something would happen and something disastrous would happen. So every single day I would come back home from work and keep my bag at the same place. That's what I remember from where my OCD, my compulsions started. There were other things that I started doing, like sleeping on a particular side. I never slept on the left side. I felt that something bad would happen if I slept on my left. I always slept on my right side, even though it was painful after a point, because you can't just sleep in one position throughout the night. I did not move at all. There were many things I would do. After washing my hands, I wouldn't let even a single drop of water fall down on the floor because I thought that would be insulting to God. There were a lot of things that I did which now I somehow don't remember because I am recovering, and it's been a while that I have been doing all these things, thankfully. So, as far as obsessive compulsive disorder is concerned, I had to change my counselor and my doctor twice. I went to a counselor once and nobody knew about it. I was very scared. I just went alone by myself and I spoke to her and I told her, listen, you know what, I have OCD. And she just looked at me with my hand on her table and she's like, you're sitting comfortably with your hand on the table. You don't have OCD. If you had OCD, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. And in my head, I was like, woman, do you even know what OCD is? Why are you and how are you even a counselor? So obviously the whole session was a waste because she herself did not know what obsessive compulsive disorder exactly was. And then I moved on to another therapist. We worked on my therapy for a couple of months, but it did not work out because I needed medication. From that I moved on to a psychiatrist, which again did not really help me because he was taking too much of time in making money rather than actually helping me. So then I moved on to another psychiatrist and a counselor, which finally worked for me, and I am still working with them for my OCD recovery. So I'm going to share with you is this CBT homework file. So basically I keep a track of everything that I have been doing every week according to my OCD and my behavior therapy. So I'm just going to read out to you what obsessive compulsive disorder technically means. People with obsessive compulsive disorder have obsessions, compulsions, or both. Obsessions are thoughts, mental images, and impulses that are upsetting and keep coming back. Compulsions are actions that people feel to perform to keep feeling from anxious and to prevent something bad from happening. Most people from OCD suffer from both obsessions and compulsions. To make it simple, OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessions are basically thoughts and mental images that keep coming into your mind and bother you every now and then, and they keep upsetting you, increasing your anxiety level. Compulsions are behaviors that you perform, like tapping, touching, cleaning, washing your hands, all of these, for example, to get rid of the anxiety that these obsessions are creating. And it's called a disorder because it's a cycle that you keep moving on into every now and then. So eventually I had no idea what was happening to me. I started keeping my bag at a particular place. I started sleeping in a particular spot. I started wearing particular clothes and started avoiding a few set of clothes. I was very scared most of the time because I felt something bad was going to happen, and I had no idea what my problem was. One day I met my friend from Australia and he's studying psychology. So we were just sitting down and talking about different disorders, and we were just having a good chat about various things, and he happened to tell me about obsessive compulsive disorder. And while listening, I was just like, you know what? I can relate to this. Like, whatever you're describing are the things that I do. Like, I lock and unlock my phone 10 times. I use my index finger only to unlock my phone, etc. And I kept asking him a lot of questions to figure out what exactly OCD is. And then eventually I broke down. I started crying because we both realized that I suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder, and it was very difficult for me to accept the fact that I have a disorder like this because I had no idea what OCD is. It was very difficult for me to accept that I have obsessive compulsive disorder because I had no idea what this disorder is. I thought I was obsessive, which means I was crazy, and I was like obsessive about people and things because I recently had a breakup. My OCD had affected my relationship, which is why I was going through a breakup, and I thought that it's good that we broke up because I am an obsessive person, I'm crazy, and it's not healthy for the guy, so it's good he walked out on me and stuff like that. But I was absolutely wrong when I eventually got to know what OCD really is. OCD is not something funny, nothing trendy. It's very severe and crippling, and it makes a person very dysfunctional. So I started my therapy, and there were a lot of things that I was scared of. I had intrusive thoughts. I still do have some intrusive thoughts, and I'm scared of entering temples. I'm afraid of making an eye contact with an idol. It's funny how I take this disorder positively right now because it's also changed me as a person. It's like disorder has made me more sensitive towards people, although it's really scarred me real bad and has also taken away and ruined my relationship, which I never ever wanted. I remember the year 2013 was absolutely pathetic for me. I was more like a zombie. I would just keep crying and I would just not eat, and I would be so depressed. And I'm not using the term depressed just like that. I was really depressed. I am diagnosed with depression as well. So yeah, my weight dropped down to 38 kgs and I started looking sick. I lost my self-confidence. I was completely a different person. I had no idea who I was. Like, there was a point when I cried. I remember I cried because I couldn't recognize myself, and that was one of the most painful things ever because I was wondering, who the hell am I? What has happened to me? Who have I become? And a lot of people around me noticed it, and they were like, what's wrong with you? Like, you are not this person that you have been behaving like for so long. And it took me years to realize that the person that I was behaving like was actually not me. It was my disorder, and I am recovering from it right now, which feels absolutely fantastic because I feel like I was in a prison and I was my own enemy, and now I have power to fight back and to get out of this prison, which has this cage which has been choking me all throughout. obsessive compulsive disorder is not something funny or not something really trendy to just talk about it and be like, oh, I can't share my drink with people because I am so OCD, or I like to keep my clothes in one particular order because I'm OCD. That is not how it works. OCD is when you need to unlock your phone a particular manner. For example, you need to unlock your phone a particular manner because you think that your dog is going to die, or you're going to die, or something bad's going to happen, or you have intrusive thoughts about various things, about yourself, about others, harm thoughts about yourself or others, and at the same time certain sexual thoughts that make you feel uncomfortable about various things. So these are the things that actually go on in the mind of an obsessive compulsive person, but they don't mean it, is the whole point. The reason they feel anxious and they feel so upset about this is because they don't like these thoughts. They are never going to act upon these thoughts, and they are not these thoughts. So it makes them feel even more pathetic and even more helpless. So a person with OCD has a thought that they might stab someone, and they keep getting these thoughts again and again. They believe that they are a bad person, but the point is that they are not a bad person. They don't like these thoughts, and it's disturbing them. It's giving them anxiety. They're trying to run away from these thoughts. They're trying to do things like compulsions to get over these thoughts, and they are never going to act upon it. You are never going to act upon your thoughts that you get from anxiety and from obsessive compulsive disorder. For me, making this video has been a challenge because, number one, I have not scripted it out at all. Number two, it's about my personal experience and something that has scarred me quite a lot, and something that has been very personal. I am filming this video to raise a little bit of awareness so that people know that OCD is not something funny to talk about, or people out there with OCD know that they are not alone. I'm sure a lot of you know that you are not alone, but that you feel like everything is over. That's just very difficult, and I want you to know that you are not alone. If you have any questions regarding obsessive compulsive disorder, please leave it in the comment section below. I will reply to them if I can. I am not a certified psychologist, psychiatrist, but all I can do is help you through my experience, and I'm glad I'm getting out of it. I take pride in who I am. I absolutely take pride in the fact that I have OCD, and I am not ashamed of it at all. There is nothing to be ashamed of. I want to tell you all that in case you have any mental illness, any problem, anything that's bothering you and making you feel dysfunctional, just go and look for help, because there is help out there. I was hesitant in going to a psychiatrist because taking medication for me was like, oh my god, am I crazy? Oh my god, my life's over. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to survive on medicines, and it was just not something that I was okay with. It took me months to finally convince myself, when I reached a point where I couldn't function at all, that I had to go to a psychiatrist and tell him that, you know what, I need help. So please just break the stigma around it. Just do not have these notions about you don't need help when it comes to psychological issues, because they are just as important as your physical body is. Your mind is very important. Your mind is what controls you and every bit of your functioning. So it is very important to have positive thoughts, to keep a healthy mindset, and to also take care of our mind. And this confession, honestly, this confession has been very difficult for me. I am talking about it right now, but I may feel suicidal after talking about this. I may not be okay for days, but if it helps even one person to understand what OCD is. If it helps even one person to feel that they are not alone and that they can fight through it, then the job is done. It's just not easy to talk about something that really sucks the life out of you. I'm just trying to tell you that people have judged me. I have lost my relationship. I have been made fun of. I want to let people know that whatever I went through all these years was not me. It was my condition that I wasn't even aware of. And it's crazy how I was judged and I was just taken for granted. But either ways, all I want to say is that we all go through things that make us feel shattered, they make us feel broken and hurt. Please don't judge anybody. Please don't make fun of them, because it's really difficult that they are going through all these things in the first place. And if you are going through it, please don't think that you are not strong, because the fact that you are fighting it is enough to tell you that you are strong in a way. And just don't let people feel bad about themselves if they have certain problems. Just don't judge them. Just let them be. They want to be accepted the way they are, and that's about it. I'm trying to take one step at a time and beat the shit out of OCD, because it has turned my life upside down, and I just want to get my life back on track. The most difficult and the most important thing that is for me is to get my self-confidence back. The way OCD sucked all the energy out and broke me down, I hope I come out stronger, but it's difficult for me to have that faith in me and that understanding, because OCD makes me feel like I'm not good enough. But either way, be yourself, stay shameless. That's the way it is. Most importantly, don't judge anyone, just let them be. Spread lots and lots of love, heal each other, and if anybody's got any kind of mental illness, please don't judge them. Accept them the way they are. Love them for who they are, because they are not their illness. They are way more than that, and they are definitely stronger than that. And that's about it. So I will see you soon next week. I hope you like my video. If you like it, please give it a like, share and subscribe if you think it's gonna help others understand what obsessive compulsive disorder is, or help anyone feel a little better about themselves. And I will see you soon next week. Bye.